Guys, welcome everybody to the Sky Media Ventures podcast. I'm your host, Nathaniel Jay Carrasco, and today we have a very, very, very special episode. We actually have Spirit in the building. I call him Spirit in the Sky. Very, very great friend of mine. We've known each other for about a year and a half. We've done many charitable activities together, and Spirit has a story, and a lot of people go through challenges and it sometimes makes them bitter and other people get better. Spirit is an individual that got better. Guys, welcome Spirit. Welcome to the show, brother.
How y'all doing?
Dude, Spirit. So I know a little bit of your story, but you know the world gets a chance to kind of learn a little bit about who Spirit is, maybe some of the challenges you've overfaced. But if you had to give them a little synopsis of kind of some things that where you came from, some challenges you've had to go through. What's your story, Spirit?
Okay, so I'm from Brevard County, and I come from a family that is prominent in society. Like my grandma was a DJ jockey, she had a Christian radio station. My grandfather worked at NASA, so I grew up in a household where you had to speak proper. Really wasn't ghetto. You didn't eat soul food, but at some point in my life, wanting to be accepted by the crowd that I was trying to follow, I detoured. Became homeless at 14, 15, had my first child at 15 years old with my baby mama. And then I started getting in trouble, going to prison because I was trying to support my kids, breaking into homes, trying to sell narcotics. So in and out of jail and prison and juvenile institutions, like 3.5 years ago was my last time I was incarcerated. And I became homeless because I didn't build anything for so long. Mm-hmm. So I went to different treatment centers trying to get housing, and it still didn't work. And then
so it sounds like a kind of a rough upbringing. Maybe some decisions that were made that maybe weren't the best of decisions,
right.
And it caused drug use, a little bit of prison time.
Right.
And like I said, you're here with us now, and I know some of the fantastic things you've done. Some people get bitter, some people get better.
Right.
So you're coming back out of prison, and then are you homeless after prison?
Yes, I was homeless I faced homelessness after prison because there was no release protection. There was no crisis team there to really help you when you get out of prison. They give you $50 and tell you, okay, make it on your own.
Wow.
Go for what
$50.
$50. You leave prison with $50, ID, and you really have to make it work. You have to really get out here and make it work. And I didn't know how to make it work. I didn't know where to go to for help so I stuck to the crowd that I thought knew, like the junkies, the other homeless people. And then, and it is a saying that, a corrupt company, bad company corrupts good character over a given amount of time. Ooh. So if you're around a company of people that are doing things that's against your moral character, you will condone in that act at some point. If you stand in a barbershop for too long, you're going to get a haircut. So
you hang around 4 broke people,
you will be broke.
You might be the fifth brother broke.
Right, yeah. So
hey, hang around with 4 rich people,
you're going to be rich.
Okay.
So, and that's key that you said that, because I've come to learn that, okay, well, I got out of this treatment center and they didn't help me with housing. So one day I'm in Walmart and I'm walking through the aisles. Initially, I went into Walmart to steal for some food. But I go down to this car aisle and I steal some car detailing equipment. Now, initially, I might have steal this equipment to go get some drugs. So there's nobody out. It's too late. So something came across my mind. I said, you know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to just start working for money. Because really, I just wanted a job, but my background didn't help me. So I started washing cars in Boca. And initially, at first,
so you go to Walmart and your intention was, hey, I'm gonna steal some car detailing equipment. I'm gonna exchange it for money so I could probably buy drugs. But something overcame you that said, wait, I have this car dealing equipment. Maybe I should start a business.
Right. So initially, I said, well, my first thought, to be honest, was my first initial thought was to use the hustle I had to wash cars to maintain my drug habit and to have enough money to eat, to get a hotel room. And then tried it the first day. So the first time I had this equipment, I only washed one car, and I was like, oh man. But I accomplished money. Went, bought some narcotics, hung out with my friends. So next day I started again and started again. And I remember I was at a Marathon gas station over here on Camino Real, and I'm standing outside. I'm promoting this car detailing thing, and a guy walks in the store. This is my first opportunity in Boca. So a guy walks in the store, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, you want your car washed?" He was like, "No, I'm good." So I was like, "What if I give you a free wash and then come see you next week if I do good?" He was like, "No, no." I was like, "Well, can you buy me a bottle of water?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah." So he goes in there. So when he comes out of this marathon, he goes, "Oh man, I forgot your water." He goes, "I give you $1." So we're at this pump, and a lot of people, regardless of if you know, people will be in your business, So everybody's kind of like watching. And I grabbed the dollar, and I said, "You know what, sir?" He said, "What?" I said, "Man, I give you this dollar back. You give me a job." He looks at me. He goes, "Do you know me?" I said, "No, sir." He goes, "My name is Kevin, and I own Heavenly Puppies." I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, my name's Kevin. I own a puppy store on Federal called Heavenly Puppies." He say, "You really need a job? You really want a job?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You gonna do right?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Come see me Monday, and I'm gonna give you a job. I'm gonna teach you how to groom puppies." I started. Now, mind you, Kevin is like extreme Christian.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's
Were
pray.
you? I know you're a very faithful person now, but were you faithful kind of back like then?
I think that
During the time like you're at the gas station asking this guy for $1 and stuff.
okay. So my faith was more of believing that something is going to happen, like something, whether I say it's God or universe, I just believed that something was going to guide me.
Okay.
But and I grew up Christian, so I didn't want to say God because the things I was condoning in, I knew he disagreed with.
Sure.
So I couldn't say God. I didn't want to, but or Jesus. But so Kevin goes and he goes, "You need to go to a treatment center." I said, "Nope, nope." He goes, "I know this good treatment center, Calvary. Nope, nah, nope." So our first conversation, Kevin goes, "Do you believe in Jesus?" Right in front of his office. So I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, do I tell him a no and lose the risk of this job opportunity? And I go, "Yeah, I believe in Jesus." But I did. He goes, "Jesus will want, what I'm saying, this opportunity I'm giving you. I think that Jesus motivated this." So I tell Kevin, I
So
said,
your first day on the job, talk about a deep conversation.
"Yeah, deep conversation."
Yeah, that's so funny. I was with a sales colleague today, and we gave her a new direction. And he said, after giving her the direction, I said, "Give me your hand." And I was like, "All right, Christina, we're gonna pray." And then we started praying to God
Right.
because, like, we're gonna do what we can, and God's gonna do what
Do
we
I
can.
get
You
exactly?
know.
So
So he's having a conversation with you. Do you believe in God? Jesus.
right, and I tell him yes, and he goes, "God will want this opportunity for you to take it." I said, "No."
Hmm.
I said, "I think God wants this right here." He goes, "What do you think God wants for you?" I said, "I think God going to show his might to the world through me." So he goes, "Okay,
Hmm.
I'm agreed to that." He goes, so he lets me and he starts showing me how to groom dogs. And this when Kevin knew that I was different from the others is he took me to his house one day and said, "I want you to paint my roof. My wife's going to be there and my kids." But I get there, son falls in love with me, kids are like my sisters. So he's like, "All right."
You got a special glow about you.
Yeah. So
That's why I call you Spirit in the Sky.
spirit in the sky.
Love that song.
And then he goes
And it's crazy how you met him at the gas station.
at the gas station.
He tries to give you $1, and then you don't take the dollar, and now he's giving you a job offer. First day of the job, he's asking you some deep questions. Now he's inviting you to his personal home.
Right, correct.
And now the kids know you.
Right.
Okay, just making sure I got the following along.
So, and what went bad? This is when it went bad. You know, I'm doing good with Kevin. I'm making a lot of money. And, his coworkers at the time were majority females, and we built a tight knit family. And then one day I get high before I go to the job. I pass out on the grooming table in his shop. And now, mind you, these are young girls in here. You know, the girl freaked out and called Kevin. And then when I came to, I seen her look in her face, and I just felt like, dog, I'm a piece of. I really did this in front of this girl.
You almost felt a little disappointed.
Yes, I was disappointed in myself. Kevin comes there and cried when he fired me. He goes, bro, I gotta let you go. He goes, you're fired. You can't come back here. I can't have you in my store. You know, I trusted you. You messed up that trust. So he grabbed me, hugged me, and prayed over my life as he was crying, firing me. He was like, Jesus, I pray that you keep your protection around him. I know that you put me in his life for a reason. I just don't know. But so he goes, what are you going to do now? I said, I'm going to go back to what I was doing when I met you. He said, well, you can wash every car here. You just can't come back inside. I said, okay. So I start washing every
I like Kevin already.
Yeah.
Kevin's a good guy.
Yes.
Let's network with him after.
Yeah.
You hear that, Ben?
So then I'm detailing cars and I meet Mr. B.
Mr. B. Mr. Jim Batmazian.
Jim Batmazian.
One of the largest real estate landowners in all of South Florida.
Yes. Real. Now, mind you, when I first seen him, I didn't know who he was. You wouldn't tell that he doesn't present himself like, you know, the mega mongrel he is. So I remember I'm talking to one of his organizations called Changing Lives, and I'm asking him one day, I'm like, well, I need a pole. I need a sprayer. My nozzle broke. I need a new one. It's only like $15. I detail cars out here. They're like, no, you don't just come and demand stuff. Like, it's a process we go through. So I said, you know what? Okay, whatever, boom. So I took my pressure washer at the time, threw it to the side, filled up some buckets, and I started detailing every car in the parking lot. I'm sweating. Mr. B comes out there and goes, listen, we have meetings on Wednesday. I want you to come to one of my meetings. So I go to one of his meetings.
It's hard invite not to say yes to.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, and at this time, I'm like, okay. So I go to this meeting, and when I walk through the door, it is a table of, like big shots.
Professionals.
Yeah. I'm like, oh,
professionals
man.
Of hearts.
Yeah.
People who like to serve.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, man, let me get out this room. I'm like, no, Spirit, come in. Come on. Pulls a chair up next to him. Sit right here. So I sit down, and I could see the look in the other people's faces, like, here's another person that we're going to take an opportunity on that's going to F it up. So Mr. B goes, whatever he needs, help him out, start his business, this time third, business cards, whatever. And then he gets up and leave, and then it's like the people are like, nope, this is too much for you. We don't believe that you deserve this. So I leave that day, and I get a call from this guy, Mr. Batmazian. And I don't know, and, you know, now that I'm talking about it, it had to be at some point in this guy's life, it is sometimes people that he does grow a liking to. Because for him to call me after everything's said and done and tell me, I'm giving you an opportunity of lifetime, and it's going to be some people that don't agree with the amount of doors I want open for you. But use every talent God has given you to let people see your light, and you're going to be okay. So that, now mind you, I'm away from the facility, I'm detailing the car, and I get a phone call, and I don't know who's calling me. And it's Mr. Batmazian. And he told me this information and hung up the phone.
He just wanted to tell you that info.
He just wanted to let me know.
Use the gifts that God has given you.
To let people see your light. You feel what I'm saying?
And
then
hang up. And then hang up.
And they hang up. Because remember in the Bible it says, why would you light a candle and put a basket over it? You are the light of the world. So I took that and I ran with it, but it wasn't working because I still was doing drugs. I still was uh, uh, trying to do it my way. I thought I knew what it was. I didn't let nobody break my ego. Then I go to jail, and Mr. B and his organization sent me food. Like, heard I went to jail, knew that I was wrong, but didn't care. Still sent me food. Still left an opportunity for me to grow because we all make mistakes. So I get out of jail, and I get housing. I go to the program. The program gets me a job.
So Changing Lives, the organization helps you get housing, and then they helped you get a job.
Correct.
Okay.
They helped me get a job. So from the job that I had, I knew that it was a pretty much a pity party because they thought they just wanted to be close to Mr. B, this, that, and third. So with that job, I really didn't feel welcome, a family.
Sure.
So I'm about to quit. And this is when I knew that where I needed to be, the people that I was around after my incarceration for those 2 months was God's working. Because I'm at a point where I'm about to fall again, but not relapse, but try to do it on my own again. And I'm praying to God one day. I'm like, God, I do not want to go to this job, man. I don't even want to be there. You ever had a job you just hate it?
Oh.
No. So
there's a difference between. I was just with Les Brown this last weekend. I don't know. You know Les Brown?
Yes, a motivational speaker.
He 80 years old. I was just with them. He goes, a job is something you get paid to do. A calling is what you call it to do.
Right.
You know, so right. That was a job.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel you. You're working a job and you're like, this is this. I don't want to do this. So anyway, so you're praying to God. I don't want.
I was like, God, listen, you got to like do something, man. So I order a Uber to my job. The Uber, for some odd reason, took me to Burger King. So I'm telling the Uber driver, what are you doing? He goes, this way it told me to drop you off at. So I'm like, what? I walk into Burger King. I'm like, let me just reorder the Uber. He goes, oh, no, somebody else just ordered when I accepted, so he left. So I ordered another Uber in Burger King. It put my pickup spot at Shell gas station down the road. So I'm like, what? I'm like, God, listen. Okay. Just, go with the flow. Because sometimes God has aligned some things in your life and you'll think that it ain't God, is everything. So I go to Shell gas station and there's a lady behind the counter named Cecilia. And
niece's name.
Yeah. And then it's a lady named Gina, which is my manager. She's in all white, leaning next to a coffee machine because it is her day off. I don't know this, the manager. So I was like, y'all mind if I get some coffee? I go to get some coffee, and she looks at me. She goes, you're very polite. I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, you need a job? So I'm like, and then this is the second thing.
And you were just praying earlier that
day,
like,
that God.
You didn't want that particular job that you had before. Okay.
Right, so.
And then you weren't supposed to go to that Shell, but when you ordered the Uber it took you to the Shell.
It took me to the Shell. Okay. Burger King, and then, Okay. So I look at her, and I'm like, damn. So in our moments in life, when God does open the door for us, sometimes we're hesitant to walk through because the things that we feel like we need to hold on to that give us stability, not knowing that God got us. So I'm like, yeah, I need a job, but I got another job that I'm doing right now. And she goes, listen, if you could pass a piss test, I'll hire you. She said, pass a piss test. She said, here. So she says, fill out an application online. And she gives me a paper with an address. She goes, go take a piss test here. So I fill out the application. I come in. She logs me in the computer. She does my onboarding. And I go take a piss. And when the piss come back, she calls me up. She goes, oh, you passed. You're clean. You start training Wednesday. I'm like, dang. So I go to my boss, and I say, I need Wednesday off. He goes, no, I need you here. I said, I need Wednesday off. So he was like, okay, you get Wednesday off. I go to training, and I'm thinking training is going to be like a couple of days. Whether you hear about it, nope. You go there, sign the paper, they give you the shirt. You start Friday. I say, wow. So now I'm starting at Shell, and my manager is like, I like you. Yeah. Don't ever leave. Okay. So the next day, guess what I did? Told my boss, it's over. I don't want to come
Well,
to
it was
work.
a job you didn't like to.
Yeah.
You know.
So now that I'm at Shell, and I realized that it was only God. That was like shook me to the bone how quick God aligned my prayer up to be answered. Just trusting in his process, not a process that I could figure out, not a process I could work through, just trusting something that is beyond my understanding. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get this job at Shell, and I start diving in the more, giving back, going and changing lives, helping all the homeless people take showers, feeding them, giving them good word. And a lot of people at Changing Lives, the people that I used to smoke drugs with, they tell me, Spirit, boy, look at you now. You motivate me to make a change, bro. Because now, when you're homeless and you're dirty, you use the excuse that
I'm homeless and I'm dirty.
Yeah, I'm dirty. No, there's nothing I could. No, that's not an excuse no more. Put yourself out there.
Take a risk.
Take a risk. And you might have a person that comes up with a million reasons why things don't work. But you know why they're not working? Because you are not applying yourself and you're not trusting God's process. God is going to knock you down. God is going, because the first thing I realize is this, is when in the Bible it says that foxes have holes, birds have nests, but the followers of Jesus have nothing. So don't expect nothing. Once you agree to be a follower of Christ, you shall expect nothing in return for your service. And in that understanding, you will see that everything after accepting nothing is the blessing. So if I don't want nothing and I accept nothing, if you give me a penny, that's a blessing. I'm grateful. Ooh. You feel me?
Starts with being grateful.
That is so and grateful, and then now that you're grateful, you are at peace in your life at whatever level you own, because you know that God, once it's your time, He will move you on. He will train you for certain battles. This is a boot camp. Some people, and I was going through situations in my life where, when I was met with different trials and tribulations, I would be so depressed. But then I had to realize God gave you a sword, a shield, a helmet, and you thought this was just for show? No, He is preparing you for training to throw you in the battle. You will be a sheep amongst wolves, but you'll be well prepared. You have armor on you, good. So I went from doing that to I signed up to be on the board of DISC and Peace. There's 2 organizations in Palm Beach County. And, I'm nervous. And the radical justice team is looking at situations that are backed by racial discrimination and speaking up to make a change so those things don't happen. So I'm sitting at one of these meetings, and the lady goes, "We didn't hear you speak yet." So I'm like, okay. So she goes, "How do you feel about the homeless crisis?" Now, mind you, these are actual people, leaders around this table that are politicians or city council members, and they're complaining about certain situations. And here goes Mr. Outspoken Spirit.
Isn't it amazing how you're around all these people?
Right.
Like, you're like, wait, a politician,
yeah,
community leaders, entrepreneurs, community. It's just, that's the blessing right there.
Right. But meeting Mr. Batmazian and his group of people, it gave me an ability to be comfortable around those people. Before, right. Remember, so this was my training. Meeting him, being around these people, getting fed up with some of these people at times, allowed me to be comfortable around these people. Now that I was comfortable, this that I'm faced with now in my future, sitting at a board where now I need to speak to these people, I'm not nervous. And I really don't care what they think.
Right.
Because
you're already grateful.
Yeah. So they goes, Spirit, what do you think about the how we could fix a crisis of homelessness? So I was like, When did you realize that homelessness was a crisis? Like, you just realized that? It has always been a crisis. And it's the community's fault that it's a crisis. Because, so let's say your home is a community. And you can view the people in your home, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, as your community, or you don't. And some people don't. But if your sister was autistic and took a crap on the floor, would you call 911 and complain about it, or would you be compelled to pick it up?
Be compelled to pick it up.
Because that's your sister.
Right.
That's your community. So when we have people that are leaders in our community, they need to view the community just like they view their house. This is my community. I need to do the things that I need to do to make sure my community is good. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to call the police on my sister because she took a crap on the floor. I'm not going to call the police on my sister because she assaulted me. I will understand her mental needs. Okay, she's mental. Let's work with her.
So you told this disc organization, you're telling.
No, that's your Peace. I told Peace that.
Okay.
So
Peace is another organization.
Yes, it's another organization I sit on. So
how many organizations do you sit on?
Well, Peace, Disc, United Way, the Radical Injustice Team, Changing Lives, Palm Beach and Broward.
And a couple of weeks ago, I saw you speaking to like 200 people. Yeah. You were at Changing Lives.
Yes.
Is that what a blessing it is to go from homeless to prison. Now you have a voice,
right?
And now you have a glow about you. And now when people get around Spirit, they feel good about themselves.
Right.
Because people don't care how much you know until
you open your mouth.
You open your mouth, and now you're sitting on these boards. Oh man, and they look at you because they respect your opinion and the words you have to say.
Right, correct.
Man, that's a blessing, man.
Right.
I don't think too many people come out of prison or homelessness and get to experience some of those opportunities that you're experiencing.
Never. It's a once in a lifetime. And I'm about to experience something that. So from the 17th through the 20th in November, we're going to Tallahassee to speak about funding for Palm Beach County to address the mental health crisis here. So I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, they were like, Spirit,
you want to travel?
You want to travel to go to Tallahassee to speak? And I'm like, what? I'm a little nervous.
Let me put on my good suit. Hold on one second.
Yeah. So I initially said yes, and I would love to do that. And then it dawned on me, and I started doubting. Sometimes imagine David doubting whether he was capable enough to take on Goliath. Mm. He's human, so he's like, he didn't grow like, yeah, I could take on a giant. He was like, man, come on, guys, for real. Like, look, bro, like, come on,
he's
bro.
He's a giant.
Come on, like, what, a rock? That's all? Like,
a slingshot?
Yeah, come on, bro.
Yeah.
So, of course, I went to, I have a couple of mentors, Dr. Rod Silek and Terrence Thomas. He's from the Lord's Place, and he's one of my counselors. And Terrence is a person that will always be real because he came from an area where he viewed people taking their downfall or lacking, not being able to mentally grasp things. And one thing he told me, he goes, Spirit, you mentally are capable of more than what the average person in your predicament is capable of. Mm. You could think through situations on your feet. Critical thinking skills.
Well, you got the street smarts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you're getting more intellectually smart, and you speak well.
Yeah.
And you dress well.
Yeah.
You did a whole 180.
Yes. Yeah. You told me that when you see me. He's like, damn, Spirit, you look different.
I was like, dude, when I first met you to now, I'm like, wait, is this the same Spirit? I had to do a double take. Spirit, I want to ask you real quick.
Go ahead.
You said you had a couple mentors. If someone's watching this right now and they're trying to advance in their life. Maybe they come from a different place. Maybe they weren't homeless or didn't go to prison. Maybe they did. Right. Or maybe they're just coming from a different place, but they're trying to, get better. How important is it to have mentors in your life? What's your opinion regarding that?
Okay, so my opinion on mentors is I understand now that we all need a person that can give us guidance in our life, because we only could view us. how we think we are viewed by other people. We can see how our ideas make sense to us because we force them to make sense. Now, take that same idea or the same way you act and present it to people and tell them to give you their opinion. And you're not gonna like majority of the things you hear. But that is how that is what they see. So if you act in a certain way and you're saying, "Oh, I don't know why my girlfriend left me," and then you ask, and then people like, "Bro, you a scumbag." You like, "No, I'm not. I'm a good person." No, buddy, you're a scumbag.
Well, it goes back to the saying. It's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame.
Exactly. So a lot of times, what mentors do, and the something that's vital that all mentors should do is destroy the illusion that we have put on ourselves. You know, like I see this a lot. You as a female, you think you on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think you are? Oh, I'm a 10. Well, all you can't be 10s. Like, come on, all y'all are 10s?
Yeah.
To be real. Every woman you got, oh, I'm a 10. Come on now. Beyonce's the 10. Okay, let's do something that we can reference with. Beyonce's the 10. And how you think you as fine as Beyonce? Oh, we're all beautiful. No, you're not. So when you have something that
Bro, that's hilarious. Bro, I'm dying over here. Ben, you hear that? On a 1 to 10, 10 is Beyonce and everything under. Yeah.
So every female would say that she's a 10. Now, that's how a mentor is supposed to be when you give him your ideas or when you ask him to give you, if you just bounce ideas off a mentor and be like, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about, what I'm saying, doing this and that. And he has to be 100%. It's not kill your dream, it's kill your illusion to how to achieve that dream. Oh, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, what are you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna start buying homes. Dude, you're broke as hell. Like, come on, like, okay, yeah, it's a good idea.
Right.
Yeah. But no, it's the wrong plan. Wrong plan. Great idea, wrong plan. And then they're supposed to walk you through things, steps, and give you enough options. Okay, so let's say a drug dealer. He grows up, he sees his mama and daddy selling drugs. His only option to make money is what he's been presented with his whole life.
Selling drugs.
Selling drugs. Until you present him with another option, he won't take it. And if the option that you're presenting him with is not getting him equal or greater financial gain than what he already got, he's not going to do it.
It's almost like we have to break down our preconceived concepts about ourselves.
Right.
And a mentor helps us go, hey, there's other ways to go about doing it.
Exactly.
To achieve that result you want. If you continue doing what you're doing, you might not, achieve it. But, from the outside looking in, let's set up some new disciplines. Recognize the errors of the past, set up some new disciplines for the future.
Right. Yeah. And that's what Dr. Rod and Terrence allow me to do. They allow me to. And what's funny is I will get into my old spirit, be like, I don't care. I'm doing it. And they be like, okay, well, we'll be here when you mess up. Yeah. And that makes me comfortable to bump my head. Sometimes we have to bump our head. Like, you could tell a baby that fire's hot. Guess what a baby's gonna do? He's gonna continue, man. Hey, stop, until he realized, ooh, that thing hot.
Sometimes experience is a good teacher. You could, like, experience is like, it's like, you can tell you don't do that or don't go down that path. And until you experience it yourself, you really don't know.
Right.
And that's why when we read books and we get mentors and we listen to audios and they're teaching you, they're like, hey, learn from me, and you're learning, but it's really until you go through it yourself, then you're like, oh, okay, that's what they meant.
Right. That's what they
meant.
Yes. Right.
I hear you.
And it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. I mean, everything will be added unto you. And I didn't know what that meant until I had nothing. And I just was still persistent to do righteousness. And when you're at a point in your life where you have nothing and you still want to do right, all the right things are going to come to you. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything you want will be added to you. You see that? So me doing right, me always not wanting to hurt nobody no more and do good by people. People seen that light in me and did good by me. You know, so that's why all these opportunities came my way because I didn't do anything out of selfish heart anymore. I did it because I wanted to get back. I don't like seeing people hurt. I don't like seeing people hungry. I think everybody deserves a shower, you know. And if I had to pick anything in the world to die for, I'd die first preaching the word of God and two helping somebody that's in need. Those are the only two ways I want to die, you know. And that's why I continue to do what I do.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I respect that. I respect that immensely, dude.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Spirit, if somebody's watching this and they're going through a little struggle in your life, if you had to give them a little bit of advice about how to walk a better path, what would you give to them? Because obviously you made some poor choices, you got back on the better path, and you did some actions. Obviously, you told us your story, but you did some actions. If someone's watching this, what kind of advice would you give them if they were saying like, okay, I'm ready to change, not just change, but I'm ready to grow?
Okay, so remember, and everything is surrender. And I talk a lot about the Bible, and I talk a lot about things that if, that I see differently now. It says in Jeremiah 29:11, it says, "Therefore I know the thoughts I have of you, thoughts of good and prosperity, things that's going to bring you joy and happiness. But until you are in a place where you cry out to me, will I hearken unto you." You know what I'm saying? So, like, in order for us to change, we have to be broken first. We have to know what brokenness feel like.
So true. So true. Some of my biggest changes in my life are after like some hurt.
Yeah.
After some downfalls.
Like a woman in an abusive relationship or a man in an abusive relationship. Until they are at a stage of being broken, they won't leave the relationship. Until they've realized, I've given all I got. I have no more. I'm broken. I'm broken. I'm done. I, and it's sad. Until they are broken, they won't change because they have the illusion. But then once they break, guess who they cry out to? God. God, please, God.
It's like the only thing to do.
That's the only.
It's almost innate.
You're right.
It's almost like, what do I do?
Right.
And it's like naturally, I think a lot of people lean onto God, which I think it's good to put God in everything proactively, like not when you're in desperation, but I think when some people have to get pushed.
Right.
And then when there's nothing left, it's like, because imagine someone gets in a car accident or they lose, they get hurt extremely bad. I mean, they're shouting out to God.
Right.
Right. They're saying, "Oh my God, help me!"
But then this is what God says though. He goes, "And when you cry out to me, I will hearken. I will come." So now you be like, "Oh man, I was in a situation and it just had to be God." Now you know. There's no doubt. You know. Right. The world knows. The world's seen it. So, when we're in those situations, like let's go back to the abuse of a woman, when she's in that situation where she's scared to jump out the window, or she knows I need to go, and she prays about it, and God gives her that little strength of a mustard seed because she had that faith, and she goes. From that point, that's why we have survivors now, POWs. When you hear about their stories, it's not because of some feat they did. No, it's all the act of faith. It was all the act of a miracle. What is it? The last sniper or the dude that was in Afghanistan?
American Sniper.
It was.
I think so. Are we talking about the same movie?
Okay, so the one I'm talking about is where the guy went to Afghanistan and him and his team, he was probably a SEAL, him and his team were under heavy fire. They killed this whole team, and he went into the Taliban homes, and they hit him until the Americans came and got him. I don't know.
I don't know what movie. Okay.
So, but anyways, in the story, it talks about this Marine, his whole team get killed, and he's running through these woods. He's trying to survive. It is not because he was all blaze of glory. No, God put good people around you to help save you and bring you back. And that's what our life right now. Well, with my life right here, if it wasn't for you, Nathaniel, remember when we first met each other?
I remember.
Yeah.
It was at the Changing Lives.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
So.
And you were sweating. You were sweating. Probably had a white tee on.
Yeah.
I think you had a white tee on.
Yeah, detailer cars.
Yeah, just drenched.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
I didn't know we were going to be such good friends.
Right. Yeah. So I understood that the people that I was around then, like you said, I didn't know that we would still be around, but I knew I needed to gain something from y'all. And I remember I was doing my first interview with William Steele, and you know what gave me motivation to speak? You, because you did your interview before me, remember? And you was like, man, I'm nervous. And you go and you was just killed it. And I was like, man, I got to go kill this interview. And that's what made me start being more comfortable. And like I told you today, bro, I see your growth. I don't know if you see it. I see your growth, and I know your faith in God, and I know God is doing multitudes in your life, and you probably can't see it because you're in the picture frame. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I know that, even with my life, you still a motivation to me. I look at you on Facebook, and I'm like, look at me. Yeah.
Dude, you're such a role. You're such a role for that, bro.
And it motivates me to like, okay, maybe I can go to Tallahassee and speak.
You can. You
Nate
absolutely can.
Nate is doing this, and Sky Media Venture. Yeah, so it excites me when I see somebody that I know achieving success and moving forward in his life. Now that I'm on this level of being a citizen again, it's good to know that I have friends on this level, or to be lonely. I'm glad I met you on that level and know you now on this level, so you can kind of, come on, Spirit.
Well, Spirit, now we're going to put you on the Sky Media Ventures platform. We post on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So I hope the world hears your story, because you're not only, thank you for telling me I'm an inspiration to you, but you're also an inspiration to me and many other, especially, people who are incarcerated or homeless. They're looking at you and saying, wow, if Spirit could do this,
right,
so can I.
Amen.
Guys, Spirit, that's it for the show. We're going to wrap up right here. Just in 30 seconds, if you had to say anything to the audience, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that we all go through things in life, but you have to keep fighting. You got to stick your chin out, hold your head up, and push forward. Don't ever give up.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the episode. Sky Media Ventures podcast. Looking forward. We're going to be dropping it later this week. We got especially more exciting guests in the future. Today was Spirit in the Sky. Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever forget, sky's the limit. We believe in you. Have a good day.